Hello everyone, welcome back to the War Zone. I'm Scruffy and this is Scruffy Tales. Am I an expert? No, I'm not. Do I know what I'm talking about? Absolutely not. Well, that won't stop me. And now we will be taking a look at how Finnish weapons are defeating Russia down in Ukraine. And hopefully we will be able to annoy and possibly even piss off a couple of pro-Russian trolls on YouTube. So let's get into it. And Finland has provided Ukraine with a whole bunch of Patria APCs, formerly known as Caesars, capable of transporting 16 to 19 troops with a crew of 2, and very reliable vehicles that has a good track record for peacekeeping missions and what have you, amphibious as well, and well known for being able to withstand mines and what have you. Very capable armored transports that I'm sure Ukraine has put to good use. And the Finns have also provided Ukraine with the Finnish-made 120mm mortar system known as KRH-92, capable of 15 shots per minute, reaching a range of 7 kilometers, and like I said, firing 120mm grenades, or mortar rounds rather, at the enemy. And light artillery that the infantry can rely upon to accurately hit enemies close to the fighting itself. So very much needed on the front line for Ukraine. And in 2023, Finland also provided Ukraine with mine clearer breaching vehicles, modified Leopard 2s. And I'm pretty sure a couple of them have been knocked out during the Ukrainian offensive of 2023, unfortunately. And Finns have also provided Ukraine with some of their old Soviet equipment, among them the Gvozdika self-propelled howitzer, a vehicle that was actually designed and built in Ukraine back in the day, in Kharkiv no less. So these vehicles have basically come back home in order to defend the motherland where they were conceived and built and designed. And so I'm pretty sure that the Ukrainians are putting these vehicles to good use. These are very old and were taken into service in the early 70s, so these are not modern vehicles. But they do provide Ukraine with some much needed firepower. And Ukraine has also received a lot of artillery from Finland. Again, old Soviet designs, some of them as old as way back from the 50s. Basically stuff that Finland doesn't really have any use for anymore. But Ukraine sure as hell needs them, and they need the firepower. So yeah, artillery from the 50s. I mean, the things still go boom when they drop down on the Russians. So the Ukrainians are more than likely putting these to good use. And the Finns have also given Ukraine a lot of man-portable anti-tank capability. A whole bunch of laws, the light anti-tank weapons, American-made. Classic, where you pull out the end to extend them and have them ready to fire from the shoulder. And the French Apilas system, a very potent weapon, firing 112mm warheads. Very powerful anti-tank weapons that you can either, as you can see in the image, fire from a vehicle, or you carry it on your back and fire it from the shoulder. And Ukraine needs weapons like these, and the Finns have provided them in good numbers. And Ukraine has also received a lot of heavy machine guns and anti-aircraft guns from Finland, old Soviet Russian designs that the Ukrainians are familiar with. They have the ammunition for it, and they know how these things operate and how they should use them and how to maintain them. So not at all unimportant that they get weapons that they are familiar with, that they just can hand out to troops, and the troops, they don't need any additional training. They just grab these weapons and are ready to rock and roll. And the Finns have a lot of Russian equipment on their hands because they after the Second World War, during the Cold War, they were kind of forced to deal with Russians, so they purchased a lot of Soviet equipment, vehicles, weapons, aircraft, and so they have an ample supply of Russian weaponry, Russian vehicles that they can supply the Ukrainians with, that Ukrainians are familiar with and know how to operate. And last but not least, the Finns have provided Ukraine with some 2,500 RK-62 assault rifles, battle rifles, 7.62 millimeters, with the extended magazine. Usually battle rifles have a 20 round capacity, but the Finns based their weapons on the classic AK-47, so they have the extended banana magazine, and this weapon is a weapon that is very functional, as you can imagine, being based on the old AK-47. And the Israelis actually liked it so much that they copied it when they designed their own weapon, the Galil. And besides the rifles, the Finns also gave the Ukrainians 150,000 rounds, which equals 5,000 fully loaded magazines. And this weapon, being basically a very advanced and improved AK-47, should be a weapon system that the Ukrainians are familiar with. Again, Russian designs that both the Finns and the Ukrainians are used to operating. And so what the Finns have done is given Ukrainians a very capable and reliable and well-made AK-47 clone that the Ukrainians should have no problem being comfortable with as soon as they are given the weapon. So yeah, the Finns, they have given Ukraine a lot of stuff that Ukraine needs. Very capable troop transports, very powerful anti-tank weapons, very good rifles, and a bunch of artillery systems that the Ukrainians are very familiar with, being old Russian artillery pieces. And interesting, Finland has actually officially declared that Ukraine is allowed to use any weapons they have received from Finland in attacking Russia on Russian soil. So, a bunch of Western countries have said that Ukraine is not allowed to use their artillery, use their missiles, use their bombs, whatever, to attack targets in Russia proper. But the Finns, they have given their approval to Ukraine to use their weapons in striking targets within Russia itself. So that means that Finnish artillery can be placed along the Russian border, and the Ukrainians can then attack staging points, supply depots, and what have you inside of Russia if they are within range. But that's it. I hope I will be seeing you in the next one. Until then, see you later.